Hey everyone, how you doing today? Thought I would show you this pretty much completed brick station. I did bring it into game yesterday on the Anvil server to check it out. Made a couple improvements since then. I have all I really have left to do is probably a final round of detailing and Info LCD. I think that should probably do it for the station. But I wanted to show you basically this is a version that is how I intend on it coming stock, and this is one that has been upgraded to pretty much everything that was planned out for it. So on the first one here, obviously I did kind of go over the body a little bit, try to get a little bit more details in there. It's a very simple design though. It's not trying to be fancy or elaborate or anything like that. And I wanted it to kind of fit with the like the Solaris station texture types and things like that. So it doesn't look unusual sitting next to any of the other human creations or the more recent human creations. There could have been some other texturing methods I could do on it to make it a little grittier looking. Alternative textures for a lot of this flat metal and stuff like that, but I don't know. On this one, I kind of wanted it just to fit with what I've already made and not be kind of unusual. But anyway, on the station, yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I know it's a very simple design, but I think it should hopefully be very useful. So let's get in here a minute. This is what it's looking like now. Here's your when you come in the bottom door, and just so you know why there's three doors. This is just a convenience thing. There is an elevator that runs right alongside of these doors, and it's the same way on the other side of the station as well. But if you're out here doing something and you want to get like right into production, you can like run right into this door and you're right into production. So you don't have to go up and down the elevator, which I find kind of annoying in the game right now, as the elevators are kind of not not really working very well. So you don't really have to use the elevators on this station if you don't want to. Um, so anyway, back over here, we've got our furnace area. It allows you to put in six furnaces. Um, Now in storage, this thing has 16 640K storage bays and 12 320K storage bays and a number of cargo boxes around. Um, so here, obviously, you plop in the furnaces. When you get into this section, you got like a little break room over here. There's a toilet in the in the corner. On this side over here is kind of like your engineering, basically your core room. It's allowing you to put in a gravity generator over here, your basic CPU core, improved CPU cores, advanced CPU cores, and there's one more on the ceiling there. So there's not really any hot parts or anything over here. That's why I didn't shield it all off and put in walls and stuff like that. There's no generators or hot parts. I guess the biggest thing would be the gravity generator, but it's kind of tucked away a little bit, so it's kind of open. So when we get up to the next floor, oh, and that is something I think I might do something more with the inside of the hallways before I release this too. That is something I kind of forgot to do. So here's the farm section. I got all the grow plots out and filler blocks in there. 162 grow plots in total. Now each one is set to its own like 3x3 section. I normally don't do that in large rooms like this, but so much of this running in between here is actually cargo extensions that I kind of had to figure out one way or another to do it. So this way it kind of keeps them all separated. You could put in the newer Reforged Eden type of farm plots, and have them all spaced out nicely too. That was kind of in the consideration on why I set it up this way. On the front of here, you've got a couple fridges and a couple food processors. Then you have your grow light uh, activations here. So there's three lanes basically. There's one there. I couldn't center this one right along there because that's where the door is. So I kind of shifted off to the side for the center row, and the same thing with the last row. Let's go up another floor here. And like I said, you could go up the elevator like right here, or you could go out. You can go back in this way too. So and then you got a location for a teleporter over here, and this is the sensor. It's just called teleporter. So if you add a teleporter, assign it to that particular control, and then it will automatically turn on and off for you. Um, you have locations to add 14 constructors or deconstructors. So that's what these CD symbols mean over here. So basically, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you got 7 on per side, so that's 14. The intent here is to add small constructors on these little things on both sides. This makes kind of a little workstation that's a little more tighter together on the sides, just trying to keep it a little bit different. The A stands for armor repair, or repair bay. I don't know. I get a little confused because it's similar naming to what the actual repair bay is. Then on this side, you've got your medical with all your specialized equipment, health, O2, and a shower. Um, yeah, and that's honestly about the entire station. Oh, actually, one thing I did not show is down in the farm areas here. Each one of these doors is basically has room to add in a 1x3 generator. Now it comes stock with just a baby little generator here, a 1x2 generator. And then it has quite a few solar capacitors in it. I think I'm running 6 or 8. I gotta check the numbers on that. So each one of these is the same setup, and there's a bunch of them going down the side. So I basically I can't really predict exactly how much power it would need if you got all the constructors in there, all the furnaces in there, and everything's busy doing something. So this way you can adjust your power. So let's go over to the one that's stocked a minute, and we can, well, actually here, let's look at the stats on this one. So 6 hour and 59 minute build time with the stock settings. It does, at the end of the day, it is using a little bit of cobalt, 246, smidgen of titanium. Iron and carbon substrate are the biggest things, but it's actually it's pretty inexpensive. I don't think this should be too hard to be able to get the resources to bring this into the game. Unlocks at level 10, or player level 10 as well. Has 6 fuel tanks in its stock. Maybe that's not enough, but I don't know yet. In those generator housing slots, you could add more fuel tanks, or you could pop them in a number of other places too. I'm trying to keep the initial cost down on the station though, so you can kind of get it in relatively cheaply and then keep on expanding it. So that is the stripped down version that I'll probably put to the workshop. This one basically is the same station. I packed it in with everything. So it's got all the furnaces in place, all the constructors, and even CPU blocks. Teleporter, armor repair, the repair bay on the top of the station, a console, lots of stuff. So with all that added, and that would be, it's got 12 advanced constructors and 2 deconstructors in there as well. If you take a look at the CPU on this, it takes it up to 668 CPU with everything put in here. Now keep in mind, stock, it doesn't even hit tier 1. It doesn't even have a basic CPU core when you spawn it in. It's very low on CPU. Without all the equipment in there. So adding everything in it takes it to 668, which translates to 1 basic CPU core, 2 improved CPU cores, and 3 advanced CPU cores. Now you can put in a 4th and a 5th advanced CPU cores, but I don't even know what you would exactly put in here to require that, but who knows? Who knows? And if you were really concerned about other things, like getting attacked and stuff, I didn't really label this out, but this is a 3-height ceiling. Actually, if you get rid of some of this trim blocks on the inside here, you could slam in a full-size shield generator and slop in a Pentaxa tank somewhere. But honestly, I didn't really think that you would be having this in a hostile location when you spawn it in the first place. Therefore, I didn't really want to, I didn't want to have it come with guns and all that stuff to raise the cost of the station. It's really meant for as production. I mean, it's a production farming base, and that's really about the extent of it. Now, on the repair bay, that's up top here. There's a little glass window right here, so you can kind of see your whatever you park up here from down below, and the location for the repair console is right over here, so you can kind of like start your repair. I don't know, visually verify if it's working or something. I just thought the window was kind of a nice convenience there. Yeah, you can see how the constructor layouts go, and they're kind of all meant to turn, so you got this open way going to the one side. Again, I'm always trying different facings with the constructor alleys in these things. And here's that double constructor set up, so they kind of rotate on the inside. Then you got two small constructors in the middle of that. Um, but yeah, that is really about the extent of this. It's got O2 throughout. It's pretty cheap. Obviously, with all these things, you'd have to rip out these carbon substrate filler blocks to put in grow plots, and or I think you only need one grow plot if you're going to put in the Reforge Eden, the 3x3 farm sections. So maybe you could just remove the center block in each one of these, replace that with a grow plot, and then put one of those fancier farms on top of it. That was kind of the intent as well. So yeah, it's not, again, it's not much to look at. It's not a crazy exotic design. It's very, very dense with cargo extensions in here. The whole thing is kind of built from the inside to the out with cargo extensions, trying to plot out all these storage facilities. That's probably why I ended up with such a, I don't know, a brick design. That's why I called it the brick, because it's, yeah, I know. So yeah, someone called it a coffin. God, I hope it doesn't look like a coffin. I guess it kind of could, but that was not the intent. It was just, I try to be a little bit, get a little bit of angles in here rather than being a square block, so a little bit of beveled edges and things like that. But it's not meant to be a coffin. It's got a lot of ways in and out, so hopefully, I mean, if you did get attacked, you could find a way out of the station. It does have some side doors over here as well, getting in the sides, and obviously the front and back, and then you can also get out through the top of the elevators on either side. There is a airtight little ramp door there, which would get you up to the top section here. And that's about it. So yeah, I will, my plan is I got to make an info LCD just so you know what all the symbols mean inside of there, and maybe a little bit of instructions on what to do to upgrade it. It's pretty simple. I did it in game too, and everything worked exactly as it should have worked, so can't really complain about that. So now I'm starting to think on like the next project here. See, this one here, I kind of, in some ways I like it, in some ways I kind of want to rebuild it and do this idea again, but get it a little bit bigger. This one I think was, for what I was trying to do here with these side things and the center section here, it seemed a bit smaller than I would have liked it to be. And right now the cargo extension section is kind of a mess where I almost got to blow away all the cargo extensions and redo them yet again. I keep on getting tripped up. And this one I made an air when I was doing, oh, I don't have any power running here. Let me get some fuel in here. And the air was, I kind of like planned out this area for like constructors in every one of these locations, but then I was like, oh, well, how are you going to get to the farms? So then I carved out an area that had a constructor in it, and then the farms are off-centered and stuff, and beams don't line up, and the farm plots are kind of over here where this whole row was supposed to be one block over, but I was trying to keep it lined up with the hallway. I don't know. It's got some issues. I was kind of frustrated building the station, and to change this, to move just something like this farm plot over and maybe make this entrance a one block instead of two requires me to kind of like rebuild a bunch of cargo extensions, which are interwoven throughout the inside of this thing. And I keep on running into one problem after another trying to do it. And that's my frustration on working on this one actually led me to build that other station where I could stay a lot neater and organized. This one was built with the hull first, and the cargo extensions were added in after the fact, where the density of the brick station is quite a bit higher with that, as it was planned out from the get-go, having the cargo extensions as part of the hull as it was being built. And it probably has more cargo extensions in it by a decent number than carbon substrate blocks. And granted, yeah, this thing is not tough. I mean, if something came by and just started shooting at it, it would disintegrate very quickly. But, it's not a combat station. It's just production hub. And it actually outdoes the Solaris station in the number of everything, really, except for the farms. I think the Solaris still has a little bit more farm plots than this does, but not by that much. Yeah, I'd have to look at the Solaris. I think that one did go above 200 on the grow plots, where this is 162. But honestly, yeah, I don't know. So next project. Now, there's a challenge that Excalibur has for a high gravity creation. I still haven't really thought of what I want to do for that. I guess it's because prior to some of the stuff that I was building, I put out like 2 high gravity miners, like back to back. I have a high gravity dropship already. Um, and it's just like I don't really know what I need to fill in the high gravity thing right now. Like what am I missing? What kind of creation haven't I built for high gravity yet? I'm not sure exactly. So that's kind of where I'm getting a little tripped up on that one. I don't really want to build another miner. Don't really need another miner. It's stuff like that. But what I've been really thinking about building, actually, it's been a little while, believe it or not. It happens to do with my favorite, probably overall favorite ship type, and that would be that of a carrier. I built a lot of carriers. I've got, of course, the Persis and the Hecat and or Catty. I always call it Hecat. I got the MCR and Draper. I've got various other smaller carriers like the Carapace C3 and C7, the Helios, which I guess you could call a carrier. Built quite a few, but in conversation and comments and things like that, it kind of comes up to I would like to build a carrier that has its control tower on one side or the other. More like what you'd see in the real world, where like the Persis, I almost forgot the Leviathan, and the Hecat as well. They all have these central control towers, which I kind of wanted to build like I won't say a full asymmetrical carrier, but a semi-asymmetrical carrier, trying to follow along the lines of what real world aircraft carriers look like to some extent. Of course, they're gonna have to be spaceships and not floating in the water. So, but I kind of had that desire to build a new carrier. Sizing and scale on it, I don't exactly know, but I kind of want it big enough to really do a good job with its main priority, and that's being a carrier. And of course, it'll probably do production and farming because there's enough room on those kinds of ships to do all that kind of thing. With a control tower on one side. I know it's not anything new, but besides the Draper, which was pretty much a full asymmetrical carrier, I never built another one beyond that. I'm just kind of curious, though. I got some old misspelled creation. Yes, me and spelling. We're not friends. Let me see if I can find that. I don't know if I've ever shown this. If I do find it, is it this one? No, that's the actual one. Or maybe I don't even have it anymore. At one point in time, before I ever released any creations to the workshop, I built a carrier with a control tower on one side. But I didn't really know what I was doing. I never completed that project, but I had a lot of it done, and I kind of liked it a lot. And then I abandoned it and went on to other things. But I kind of wanted to hit that again. I don't think I'm going to be able to show that because I don't actually think I have the blueprint around anymore. I have to keep on cleaning this up because you can only have so many in a folder. So maybe I got it copied in some backup folder file somewhere, but I don't seem to have it displaying here. But anyway, I was thinking about that for a new project. One other possible new project too, and it's something I really haven't built. And this one probably won't get people too excited because it probably won't be very useful for gameplay. And that is, I kind of wanted to build like a luxury civilian transport ship, like a VIP ship, and it would be more of a SV. Primarily for looks, it's fancy. If you're gonna load up a bunch of people and take them from point A to point B, you could put them in there. I just haven't built that type of ship yet, and I kind of wanted to, and it would be all luxury-like, so it'd be, I don't know exactly what style I would go on, or exactly what shaping at this moment in time, but it's something I always wanted to build, but I don't, necessarily see a lot of practical value for gameplay in it, so I'm trying to compensate, trying to make it, no, I'm kidding. Those are two ideas for projects. That both of those kind of skip the whole dropship thing. Now, one last idea I did have for a drop ship, and this would be, and I don't think I have enough time to even try to complete a project like this. And one thing I thought about doing for a long time too is, if you're familiar with StarCraft, they have the Terran in that they have a command center. I think it's just called command center. Um, mobile command center. It's that big unit that you start with when you first start up a StarCraft game and blah blah blah, and basically it can take off and it can land. It's kind of like a big symmetrical thing with big thrusters on the sides, and it's a building. Um, I thought about building something along those ideas, or basically something like what the very ancient creation was supposed to be a little bit more like. I wonder if I got that in my list here yet. That would be the Gigacore. Yes, I do have that one here. Um, when I first started this creation, it was supposed to be something like that. That's why I did these drop pods, and they were set up so I could use copy paste and rotate them around. So I only had to build one of these and copy it around. Well, that was a general idea, but this took a whole lot longer than I thought it was going to be to build, and it turned out to be something different than I was originally planning too. It was originally supposed to kind of go upward and be more like a StarCraft command center, but the size class bloomed out so much so quickly on this thing that I was like, no, I better cut that off. I was going to have it way up here and all tall and everything like that. So I changed the whole format of around, put like a bridge on one part of it. The problem I had with this ship is, especially back when I was really mindful of the size class, I absolutely did not want to go past size class 10. This just maxed it to its limits, and I just couldn't do anything more with the ship. But uh, problems with it though, it's got this nice big pass-through hangar, and I do like that, but it was kind of skinny. It had everything mirrored from one side to the other. And it was kind of confusing the layout getting around through it. You have these farm plots and these farm plots up here, and you had these other bays down here, which I thought was kind of neat, but they're kind of made to use a specialized vehicle. Of course, this ship was built before all the new stuff, including the blocks, the colors, the flight model, container extensions and controllers, shields. I mean, none of that stuff existed when this ship was built. So, and yeah, again, in some ways I really like it. In other ways, I didn't think it was a very optimal design with interior space and layout. And that's why, not like a few months after I built this one, I ended up building the Persis carrier, which I thought was a lot better layout. It worked better. It was it didn't cost as much. It had more actual hangar space, more room, bigger farm section, and it just worked out a little bit better. But anyway, that is one idea. That is one idea, to do something again like this, but this time be optimal. I learned a lot of things since I built this ship. I learned that on a big creation like this, I pretty much do not want to run all these little dinky thrusters the way I was, and I don't want to use so many blocks on these like side thruster pods. And one of the fancy things I was trying to do, and it took a little bit to figure out, is I literally connected each one of these thruster pods to the inside of the ship through an angled hallway, so you could walk in here, and this is actually where it stored the generators. Of course, I wasn't into the big generators at the time either. Didn't think I needed them, so I put in like all this stuff, and each one of these things is like almost like two size classes just for one of these thruster pods. And when I copied it around to all sides of the ship, suddenly the ship just leaped in size class, like huge, and then I was kind of shut me down for doing other things because, again, I was worried about going over size class 10, which I thought was pretty much the absolute limit I didn't want to go past at the time when building this, due to the servers won't allow it and things like that. So, but anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. 3 potential new projects. If I did start a command center type of creation, I don't think I would have it done in time for the challenge, though, since it's already the 20th. Man, time flies. So I don't know about that. And I don't really want to build another miner. I could build another like dropship kind of thing, but I do have the Apollo, and honestly, I'm pretty happy with it. It's kind of like, a smaller brick with some really big, beefy lift thrusters and stuff on it. And I don't, I can't think of another dropship design that I would really want to do much different than that. Or what I would really do different about it, besides maybe giving it the availability to have in shield parts, which didn't exist when I built these other ones. I don't know. I'm just not too excited about that. I wanted to do one of these kind of projects to get it out of my system. I think it's like this is not about looks. It's all about function. I like to do creations that are focused a lot around looks as well. But I like, yeah, the mix up. It's like every creation's a little bit different. Everyone's I'm thinking a little bit different things when I'm building it. Sometimes I'm trying out ideas like this over here, and other times I just want something that I know is going to work, that I'm not going to like, kind of a no-brainer. Um, Other times I like to go really exotic and try to do some really shapely things. So that all depends. But yeah, just curious on your thoughts. Any particular one of those three future projects you would like to see the best? And of course, like I said, on this station here, I kind of want to get back to it. Um, don't necessarily need it right at this moment though, because I got the other one now. But if I did get back to this, I almost want to scale it up. I want to make it bigger and more elaborate, plan out the storage better, plan out the landing better, plan out the modules better. If and it might be a module setup again if I did do this one again. Um, so yeah, I think it could work in the end. It's not as if the design is not as efficient as the brick, but visually looking at it, I think most things would probably look better than brick. I mean, it's this is about as plain as it gets over there. So, anyway, y'all have yourself a great day. Let me know what you think about future projects, or if you got some other idea. Maybe I'm just not thinking about everything, and I know I'm not. There's a lot of things, and if you say something that would be really cool to have, some kind of creation or something like that. I might be totally on board with that. I just, I'm not thinking of it. To be honest, I really don't need another carrier either. I got a lot of carriers, but again, I kind of wanted to do one that's set up, kind of like the Persis, but hopefully more optimal with better functionality, and of course the newer parts, shield part bays, and maybe even a fusion reactor bay. Might not need that stock, but you could upgrade it. But like it's just like a newer generation. The Persis CV3 was the last carrier I think I made, and that I went down. Since time flies, it's probably almost a good year ago already, at least. So anyway, y'all have yourself a great day. I'll talk to you later.